So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new Media and American League Baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Christine Lakin, who is the guest host of the Acme Comedy Theater in Los Angeles on, tomorrow, Saturday, March 14th, gets a big break acting in the new film Race to Witch Mountain, starring Dwayne Johnson and Carla Gugino. I probably butchered her last name. And opening today, March 13th. Christine's first audition was for a TV commercial, and after not getting that job, she didn't have to wait long for another opportunity, which was the part of young Rose in the Civil War flick Rose and the Jackal, which also starred Christopher Reeve. In 1991, she took her first step towards big fame and landed the role of the tomboyish Al on the Friday night hit Step by Step. And when Step by Step missed a step in 1998, Christine did not, landing jobs in independent films such as Big Monster on Campus, Finding Kelly, and Whatever It Takes. This week, folks in Los Angeles can see another side of Christine Lakin as she hosts the Night of Satire and Comedy at the Acme Theater. And, of course, for the latest news and photos of Christine, check out her website, www.christine-lakin, Lakin.com. Christine, welcome to Mr. Media.
Well, thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm driving around Los Angeles talking to you, so hopefully I won't crash anywhere or have to yell at anyone outside my car.
So I wouldn't want you to have to explain, well, I'm sorry I hit you, sir, but I was talking to Mr. Media, and he freaked me out.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, if I do hit anyone, I'm just going to tell the officer that, so I hope that's okay with you.
Throughout Los Angeles, they know me as the cause of many accidents, so that won't be a problem.
Oh, good.
So, Race to Witch Mountain looks like it could be a very big hit. Tell us about your role in that film.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge hit. In fact, I play a character named Sunday, and I am the concierge at Planet Hollywood. And a lot of the film takes place in and around Las Vegas. And the kids who are really aliens, played by Anna Sophia Robb and Alexander Ludwig, and they befriend a cab driver, played by Dwayne Johnson, and he essentially has to help them basically get back to their spaceship and, in essence, save planet Earth and save their own planet. So they run into Planet Hollywood and to escape the bad guys, played by Kieran Hines and Thomas Everett Scott. And I am one of the concierge women there, so trying to help them out and be friendly, but I have no idea what's actually going on. So I'm a little bit of a roadblock for their as they're in hot pursuit. So it's a fun little role. It's a great film, and I think for anybody who remembers the first two installments of this sort of tale from the 70s, you'll get a great surprise. There's a lot of really good moments and some cool surprises with Ike Eisenman and Kim Richards. And, this is a real reimagination of that franchise. And I think people will be surprised that it's a family film. It's it's something that everybody in the family can go see, but it will keep you on the edge of your seat. It certainly kept me on the edge of my seat, and a lot of the stunts and stuff, a lot of people don't know this, a lot of the stunts were done by the guys who did all the Bourne Identity films, and so it's a real action-packed, really great sci-fi, suspenseful movie, but it's got great elements of comedy, and I think there's a little something for everybody in it.
So will we find you slipping into a theater somewhere in L.A. tonight to check this out, or are you?
Funny you ask me that. I'm actually on my way to the Grove right now. So if anyone wants to see me, well, not that they want to see me, but I'm going to go and see it and pay my money. Even though I was at the premiere, I'm going to pay my money to go to the Grove and support the movie, because I do that for all my movies and all my friends' movies, and I think it's a good thing to go do. So, yeah, I'm real excited to see it on the big screen and with, an audience that hasn't seen it before, and not be around a bunch of Hollywood schmucky schmucks, but around, real folks watching it and enjoying it. Hopefully a bunch of kids, too.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I don't know when they went from muckety mucks to schmuckety schmucks.
Maybe I've just made that up.
I love that. Now, people who may not, I hate to say it, but people who may not recognize your name right now may go back and remember a younger you on Step by Step.
Mm-hmm.
That was, how many seasons was that on?
We did 7 seasons.
That's what I thought. That's Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers. It was one of those sitcoms that kind of snuck in there. It was there week after week, year after year, and kind of. I hope you'll take this the right way. Kind of reminded me a little of According to Jim Now. Every year you turn it on, and it's still there. It keeps pumping along.
Oh, yeah, that's an odd comment. No, I mean, I think it was a family comedy on Friday nights in a time when, I think there was still a lot of family television to watch. I don't think there's a lot of that out here anymore, maybe on the Disney Channel. But on primetime networks, not so much anyway. So it was sort of, I think a time in life when Bob Boyette and Tom Miller, who are our producers, also produce shows like, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Full House, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, a time in which, like, those kinds of comedies and especially sitcoms existed, which they don't exist quite so much anymore for the family environment. So it's kind of neat that I was a part of that, and, I had an amazing time on it, and, it was a huge part of my childhood. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and now people are still watching it. New generations are watching it in reruns on things like, I guess, ABC Family and things like that. So kind of cool.
That is cool, and it's fun. I'm sure there's a whole generation of guys who grew up watching you grow up. You were, what, 12 or 13 when you started on the show? And
yeah, I was 12 when I started, and I was 19 when I finished.
I imagine there's a lot of boys of that age who grew up alongside of you who have a lot of pictures of you hanging on, had pictures, may still have pictures of you on their walls. That's got to be kind of an interesting experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when, I was a kid, I remember when I was like 14, 15, I would get fan mail from guys asking me to go to their proms and their high school dances, and yeah, of course, that was great. That was very sweet and very cool. Especially because I never, in high school, never really was considered one of the most popular people. So yeah, it was nice to feel like you were wanted and desired, I guess, at 15. But as I've grown up over the years, of course, people have recognized me from the show, and I'm obviously older now and all of that stuff. But I think I was maybe some people my age, maybe their first sort of TV crush, and that's really cool because I remember all my my first crushes on TV, like Doogie Howser. Which clearly I was batting for the wrong team there, but like my Savage, and it's a huge part of your childhood, and I think that's very cool. And then I was lucky enough I got to do FHM last year. I was named one of the top 100 hottest FHM people, I guess, which is an odd honor, but very, very cool nonetheless. So maybe I really am hanging up in someone's locker. Who knows? If I'm hanging up in your locker, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I was going to say, I've seen more recent pictures of you, like the FHM, and I have a feeling you're probably, getting a little attention even as we speak for that. Was it difficult? We hear a lot about child actors, and you were more of a teen actor getting started. Did you have trouble making the transition to, adult work?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I finished, like I said, I finished the show when I was 19, and I had already started my college career at UCLA, and so I was sort of half focused on college and half focused still on my career, which is a tough balance to find, but it was difficult. I mean, it's difficult, I think, for anyone to ever see you in a different light once you've been one thing for so long. So, for me, like branching out and doing roles that were different, and like Whatever It Takes was kind of my first big studio movie, and it was, I had a little part in that. It was a lot of fun. Being able to play sort of like a bitchy, sassy, very prissy type of girl, because that was a complete departure from what most people saw me as for many years. So, yeah, I think there's always a little bit of a transitional mode. This last series I just did on the CW wasn't running very long, but it was called Valentine, and it was sort of the first adult role I've been able to play on television, and it felt really good, where I wasn't somebody's daughter, I wasn't like a young, like 22-year-old. It was like a really legitimate role. I had a career, and I had a life, and I was a successful writer, and so that was quite cool. I think it just takes time, and that's what is so difficult about the business, is that it's always about perception. And the people who are, I think, stick around, like I have friends with a lot of other child actors, and I think it can either really kill you and make you crazy, or it can make you just a really diligent, tenacious person if you love what you do. And I guess I've gone the other way, but I'm definitely in it to win it. So I'm sticking around for a while.
Excellent. Well, I want to bring in, of course, this weekend, tomorrow night, Saturday, March 14th, you are going to be guest host at Acme Comedy Theater, and I want to bring in, I believe, Richard Keith to the call. Richard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, well, thanks for,
my voice totally just cracked on my hello, so I'm doing well already.
Well, you could do a teen skit with Christine tomorrow.
Come out and see tomorrow. You'll see our opening skit. It's going to be a doozy.
Yes, it will.
I wanted to follow up on what we were just talking about. I wondered if, Christine, if you kind of look at this opportunity at Acme as an opportunity to show a little more of that adult range, do things that, maybe people wouldn't expect. Oh,
definitely. I mean, I think people are going to, I don't think people probably ever really expect me to do anything sketch comedy-wise, but, if you've seen some of the plays and things I've done in Los Angeles, I don't think you'll be quite so surprised. But this is a great platform and a great venue, and something that I've always loved. I've always been a huge fan of sketch comedy, and I was thrilled when Rich approached me and asked me to do it. So it's just, for me, it's a little bit of a dream come true to be able to come in and play with them and do all the great stuff that they've written for me and tailored for me. And so yeah, I think people will be surprised definitely to see me doing some of the roles that you're going to see tomorrow night. But it's a great opportunity.
Richard, what do you got her doing? What will surprise us and what will delight us?
Well, what's funny listening to you chat about Step by Step, because I was definitely one of those guys. I remember Al growing up, and I was always like, oh, that's the one I want. That's the one.
Oh, Rich.
I know.
And see, now Facebook brought us together.
Exactly. See, it's not just for stalkers. It's for really motivated stalkers.
Right, exactly.
No, but we actually have an opening that's sort of basically exactly in the vein of what you guys were talking about, which is that I've loved her since Step by Step, and that's sort of why she's come to host. And I won't give too much away in case people actually do come see the show, but there's that, and I've got her also playing my dead grandma, who we are watching a video will that she recorded for us, and sort of she's telling us all these odd facts about the crazy, weird things she did while she was still alive.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Is that the video that you guys were shooting today?
No, that's a different one. It's called 2-Minute Sketch Show. Well, actually, there's two videos. One's 2-Minute Sketch Show, which is it's a 2-minute video, and so each of the sketches within it are 5 to 15 seconds max, so maybe 3 or 4 lines. Really sort of quick British style, like Monty Python sort of jokes. Yeah. And then the other one is called The Electric Company. It's a parody of The Electric Company, the spelling portion of their show that they have, the phonetic spelling. Really funny guy named Kevin Small writes a parody of that where the couple start spelling words, and then in the last one they were interrupted by a confession that the woman was cheating on her boyfriend. This one, someone breaks into the studio and mayhem ensues.
Always the mayhem.
Yeah.
And Richard, because you're getting to live out a dream of many teenage boys from the 90s, tell us about working with Christine.
Yes, Richard, please do tell.
Yeah, cool, no pressure. Well, let's see. No, I'm kidding. It's always weird. I was talking to my writing partner, Chris, about this, who did the 2-Minute Sketch Show. It's always strange to work with someone that you knew as a kid from TV or film. Because when you're a kid, your brain doesn't necessarily separate that you don't know that person, so it's always a little, you always wonder what they'll be like. And she was just really easygoing and very funny, and, came in, especially on pitch night, and was surprised, and I don't mean this to sound negative in any way, but surprisingly talented. I mean, could do all sorts of accents and crazy characters, and we were all very, very pleasantly surprised at her range.
Oh, thanks.
And to hear you say that people wouldn't expect you to do sketch after this, you might be surprised. You might get a few phone calls.
That's good.
Yeah.
And how does the real adult Christine hold up to the teen image that you remember? I'm guessing probably surpasses.
Yeah. Oh, way cooler. Yes. Real people are always real people are always preferable to fictional people, I find.
And Christine,
and and all my man pants and my backwards hats that I wore at age 12.
I sent Christine a link this morning as it described her on Wikipedia from the show. It said she was the tomboyish one who was still cute despite all her man clothes.
Yeah. The oddest description on Wikipedia ever, I think.
Wikipedia, written by geniuses.
Well, and the spawn of geniuses. And Christine, is there anything that you were asked to do this week that you had to say no to for any reason? Maybe it made you uncomfortable, or?
No. Strangely enough, it takes a lot for me to get uncomfortable. And as we were filming even one of the sketches the other day, it sort of suggested that Rich had to be pretty much naked with his hands cupped over his personal parts. And they were setting up a light, and I pretty much just had to look, I was sitting there staring at him for a good 10 minutes as he's sort of directing everybody around, and he was pretty much just bare naked. And he was like, God, this must be so uncomfortable for you. I'm like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. I was like, are you kidding? This is probably one of the more normal parts of my day, so don't worry about it. I mean, it doesn't take much to faze me. So I have to say I was pretty game for anything they had out there.
Yeah, she was very, very easygoing. I may have taken my pants off about 10 minutes too soon, and because I was co-directing it and helping DP it also, I'm literally holding it, and then I go to move a light, and I'm like, my hands really need to be where they are right now.
Yeah, it's very funny. We should film that, actually.
I know.
Funny. It's funny how nudity seems to be a big part of each week at the Acme Comedy Theater. I think Thomas Calabro was the guest host a week or two ago, and had him on talking about it. And oh gosh, I apologize, I can't remember the young lady who was working with him. And she said something about that her breasts would be hanging out, and I was like,
that would be Michelle Gregory.
There you go, thank you. And I thought, oh, she's probably just talking about some fake kind of thing. But I'm told that was actually the case, and so now we're hearing about Richard's parts hanging out.
It's a newer trend. I mean, we're definitely we sort of pride ourselves on mostly being an intellectual comedy theater, and only using that sort of stuff when it's
absolutely necessary.
Yeah, when it's absolutely necessary. But even then, it's like it's usually situational comedy. So if there is some sort of nudity, it's throwing it into a situation where that would never be. Like in that sketch, she was feeding her kid, and she came back, and her boob was hanging out, and it's one of those things where everyone just felt too uncomfortable to call her out on it, so they were sort of trying to beat around the boob, pun intended.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. The comedy will be better tomorrow night, I swear.
My God. Well, Richard, stay along with us a minute. I just want to ask Christine what else she has coming up this year. Fans may want to hear this. What other appearances of film or TV can folks look forward to from you this year?
Well, I have I'm actually up for a couple theater awards here in LA, which is kind of cool. I'm up for LA Drama Critics Circle Award on Monday, and then at the end of the month, an LA Weekly Award, and then right after that, a GLAAD Award, which is really awesome. I like to, like I said, I do a lot of theater in LA, and it's one of my great outlets, and I've done some really, really cool things, and I've started a couple really great musicals out here. So it is possible. It is possible to do good theater in Los Angeles, and I've been blessed to find some of that. I just finished a musical of the movie Heathers. We did our first musical reading this past Monday, and it's been sort of blogged about and talked about over the past few days. It's kind of been all over, from Hollywood Reporter to Perez Hilton to D-listed. Everyone's kind of talking about this, but it's pretty exciting. And as it is always with new musical readings, you never really know where everything's going to go, but it went great, and Dan Waters was thrilled on Monday, and we had a blast. So I was lucky enough to be able to play Heather Duke, the Shannon Doherty character, and had a great time with it. We'll all see obviously where it all goes, but hopefully they'll finish up Act 2, and everyone will be very pleasantly pleased with it. But Larry O'Keefe and Andy Fickman and Kevin Murphy are all sort of behind that, which is a lot of fun. And then I have a movie coming out called The Whiffler. There are trailers and stuff online and on Facebook and stuff. It's a mockumentary about the best wiffle ball player in America at a time when baseball went on strike, and I play Kiki, and this is much more of a sort of sketch character, like some stuff you might see tomorrow night, but I am a very white trashy wife to one of the wiffle ball players, and so that was such a blast for me, and it was a lot of improv too, so we had a really good time with that. And then I've got a movie coming out, limited distribution, next week called Super Capers. It's a really fun movie. It's a spoof about superheroes, and I play a villain, and I can shoot laser beams out of my eyes. So there you have it.
Oh, that beats shooting them out of your. Well, never mind.
Right.
You know, I was just thinking as you were, and that's all wonderful. It's very exciting, especially we have someone in the live web chat that accompanies the show, and she wrote a musical version of Heather's "OMG." So
yeah.
I'm sure people will be talking about that.
I know. Drool much, Veronica? It's pretty exciting. It was a lot of fun. I was a huge fan of that movie, so just be able to be a part of it for the time I was, and we'll see all where it goes. But it was truly great, and let's say I was privy to hearing all the music, so I'm such a musical theater nerd that it was a lot of fun for me.
Do you sing?
I do. I've been singing since I was a kid. I actually started out in theater in Atlanta, and I've been doing a lot more actually since. Over the past few years, I got involved in Gary Marshall's theater, the Falcon Theater, and I've done several musicals there, the Happy Days musical, and then I originated a musical here called The Breakup Notebook, which is a lesbian rock musical that Kevin McCollum, who produced Rent and In the Heights, just bought the rights to, and they are trying to get an off-Broadway version going of that. So, it's kind of my side gig, but it's something that I've just always loved and really enjoy, and it's what keeps me passionate as an actor. It's why I love sketch so much. I just love acting live. So yeah, kind of like my little side passion there.
Cool. Well, I wish you luck on I guess it's Monday with the drama circle, and then especially with the GLAAD Award. I hope that you win, but just so that maybe Doogie Howser might be there to give you the award. How cool would that be?
Oh, I'm telling you. A couple years ago, I was up for an Ovation Award, and he was hosting. And sadly, I didn't win because had I gotten up there, I think I would have just had to tell him that I had a crush on him for years. And I just wish we had met at another time, another place. Maybe we could have gotten together. I mean, really, maybe I could turn him. I still have visions of that, so we'll see.
I don't know. He's had a lot of opportunities on How I Met My Mother. At this point, it may be too late. Well, listen. Before we completely run out of time, I want to tell everybody you can see Christine Lakin in the new film Race to Witch Mountain. She just gave you a whole bunch of other things that you can see her in coming up this year, and you can still order tickets for her appearance at the Acme Comedy Theater in Los Angeles. Tickets are available online, www.acmecomedy.com. It's ACME comedy.com. Check out her website, www.Christine, CHRISTINE Lakin, LAKIN.com. And Christine and Richard, I want to thank you both for joining us on Mr. Media today. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks,
thank you so much for having me. And I hope to see all you guys out at the show tomorrow, and please go see Witch Mountain.
All right, and hopefully we'll get you back on here again when you've got another movie you want to talk about. And Richard, I know we'll have people from Acme Comedy back on again, so thank you also.
Of course, thanks.
Thanks so much, anytime.
All right, take care.
Good to talk to you.
Same
Bye.
Here. Bye-bye. And folks, for more TV and movie-related interviews, surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with the stars of everything from Worst Week and Chuck to Lassie. Seriously, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites, whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, Pointer Online, MySpace, Bebo, High Five, Digital Journal, Podcast Pickle, Vox, Folio, Mediafly, Podfeed.net, Blueberry, Zencaster, Audio. The point, you can listen to Mr. Media pretty much anywhere that you can get audio on the Internet. And speaking of which, subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. It's ANDELMAN. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always appreciate when you give up a little piece of your day to spend it with us.